Our topic today is, could cannabinoids like CBD and CBG and CBN be the answer to your family's health? And my conclusion is, I think so. So what I'd like to do first is, and you're welcome to put it in the chat. Tell me, why are you here today? What questions you might have? If you're any particular product you're interested in, I'll make sure to cover it during the presentation. And of course, this is being recorded, so many of you will be seeing it later. And if you want to reach out to me, either private message, or you can find me on any of my social media platforms and send me a direct message. I'm Susan Guthrie on Facebook, and also Wellness Network on Instagram. Or you can text the word wellness to the number 21,000. You'll get all of my contact information, my digital card. Always happy to reach out and help educate. And that's why I'm here. I am a former educator, and I love sharing simple ways that people can make little changes daily to improve the quality of their life for the rest of their life. And so a little bit about my story, the way I was introduced to CBD in Kannaway. 6 years ago, one of my dear friends, Valerie Aloisio, I'd known her over 20 years. She reached out to me and said that she had partnered with this company called Kannaway. They were selling legal cannabis, and it was just gonna, be the newest innovation in health and wellness. And the only thing I was hearing was cannabis. And I remember when I was growing up, my daddy taught me not to do drugs. And I was thinking that hemp and marijuana and CBD and THC were all the same thing. But so I wished her well, because the only thing I knew it helped with was seizures and cancer. And I didn't have either one of those. So I thought, well, good luck. And as, fate would have it, about a year later, she was invited to come to Atlanta for an anti-cancer summit. Two of my friends, Carol Neal and Tracy Randall, put together a anti-cancer summit with this gentleman, Bob Wright, who wrote Killing Cancer, Not People. And he dedicated chapter 12 in his newest book to not just the benefits of CBD, but also the benefits of CBD from Kannaway. So I definitely was paying better attention this time, because my youngest sister had just been diagnosed with cancer. My mom had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. And I knew from listening to them that anything going on in your body with your neurological system or your immune system, that CBD in particular from hemp can have profound benefits. And what you're going to learn today is a little bit more about the endocannabinoid system and how this all works. So I got products for my family. I got products for me when I tore my meniscus playing tennis for the second time and did not want to have surgery. Within about 2 months of using some of this cannabinoid CBD THC products from Kannaway, I was back on the tennis courts with no discomfort, and I never had surgery. Now, these are not medical claims. I want you to know up front, I am not a doctor. I am not a nurse practitioner. I'm not anything other than a wellness consultant, an entrepreneur with Kannaway. These are just my personal experiences, and every person is different. Every condition is different, but I encourage you to go to a website. It's called ECHO connection.org. There's over 25,000 research articles there on how cannabinoids have a positive impact or benefit to the human body. And you're going to learn a lot more about that today. So what I'd like for y'all to do is, if you have any questions or anything, go ahead and put them in the chat. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. And we're going to watch our first video. It's called The Problem.
The existence of hemp can be found throughout recorded history. Food, medicine, elixir, textile. Hemp is thought by some to be the first crop domesticated by our ancestors. In ancient India, it was blended with milk and spices into a drink believed to aid digestion, relieve fever, and ease dysentery. Some thought it made the body more alert, calling it the nectar of the gods. Beginning in the mid-1800s, hemp oil was a natural part of the American pharmacopoeia, prescribed for everything from cramps to chronic seizures. After the 1930s, taxes made hemp too expensive to grow, and farmers mostly abandoned the crop. Hemp became more scarce. Cannabinoids all but disappeared from the food chain, and Americans became deficient in cannabinoids. Cannabidiol is a naturally occurring chemical compound found in plants like echinacea, flax, and of course hemp. In this form, it's referred to as a phytocannabinoid. But plants aren't the only source. Cannabinoids also exist in the human body and can even be found in breast milk. Some researchers contend they play a critical role in early childhood development. Regardless of the source, cannabinoids work in conjunction with the body's endocannabinoid system, also known as the ECS. The ECS is a network of cannabinoid receptors found in the mammalian brain and abdominal organs. This system plays a key role in regulating many natural functions, including mood, sleep, and appetite. Present from even the earliest stages of fetal development, the ECS predominantly consists of endocannabinoid receptors located in both the central and peripheral nervous systems. CB1 receptors in the central nervous system combine with the brain's nerve cells to help regulate the body's biochemistry. Both endocannabinoids and phytocannabinoids bind to these receptor points to control the passage of proteins between cells. CB2 receptors in the peripheral nervous system are mostly found on white blood cells, in the tonsils, and in the spleen. Cannabinoids that bind to these sites help modulate the immune system response to disease and injury. Research has shown that cannabidiol has the potential to reduce inflammation and protect critical cells against oxidation. However, with a lack of cannabidiol in the food supply and the tendency for endogenous cannabinoids to degrade within the human body, most people are deficient in these important compounds. This absence of cannabinoids has led researchers to establish a condition known as clinical endocannabinoid deficiency syndrome. A diet rich in phytocannabinoids, such as high-concentration hemp oils and hemp seeds, may offset this deficiency. The discovery of cannabinoids and the endocannabinoid system has forced the scientific community to rethink how many of our most debilitating diseases function and how to treat them. As it turns out, so many of us are deficient in this fundamental substance that plays a key role in keeping our bodies balanced and healthy. These receptors are an intrinsic part of who we are, leading us to ask, are we starved of cannabinoids?
I'd like to know is what kind of impressed you most, or did you find most intriguing about that first video? I will tell you the thing that I found most fascinating is that we have this system in our body from 16 days of gestation. And the beautiful thing is that once you start putting hemp and cannabinoids in your body, some of these symptoms from these chronic problems that we've been having just wonderfully disappear. So this syndrome is something you're going to start hearing more and more and more about it. And let's see, your chat. Yes, I am happy to share the recording, and I'll also give you the links to the different videos that you can send to people individually. Our next video, this is called Introducing Cannabinoids to the World, and this is going to really shed some light on how our parent company, Medical Marijuana Inc. and Kannaway, has been leading the information of hemp for every home throughout the world. We were the very first in the United States, and we're now in 45 countries. And so this is very exciting for me and all of us that are brand ambassadors.
Kannaway is the first company of its kind, the first ever cannabis-based direct selling company in the history of the world.
All the history of cannabis throughout the world, a very, very interesting study. Going back to ancient Chinese artifacts, we find evidence of cannabis being used therapeutically. Even here in the U.S., in the period from 1850 to 1937, cannabis was widely prescribed by medical doctors.
In 1937, that all changed when Congress passed the Marijuana Tax Act and lumped hemp in with marijuana.
Kind of went on for about 50 years until a group of us from San Diego, kind of enterprising entrepreneurs, thought if we did this a little differently, perhaps we could grow a high concentration CBD in a hemp crop. We did this and felt comfortable in shipping to all 50 U.S. states. And then over time, we're currently exporting product to about 44 countries around the globe.
Any great movement like that, it begins with one person willing to stand up and say, we're going to challenge the status quo, we're going to do things differently. And that for us is Dr. Stuart Titus, the founder of Kannaway. You know, he was a lone voice in saying what the benefit of CBD, beneficial cannabis was.
Well, there were a tremendous amount of challenges in developing this industry. At first, we had to find a place in the world to be able to grow a high concentration CBD in a hemp crop. And we searched the globe, wound up finding a wonderful farmer in the northern part of the Netherlands, growing a crop with a high enough concentration of CBD to potentially be therapeutic. It took us about 4 years. Of course, the fibers are very thick, almost like steel. Between ourselves and our farmer, we probably put $12 million into just developing harvesting equipment.
It's not all about just throwing some seeds in the ground and hoping you come up with a high CBD concentration crop and then being able to deliver a product. This was a process that took years and years and years to develop.
CBD and cannabinoids do have an effect directly on receptor sites within the cell membrane, and this allows many of us to overcome things such as fatigue. There is now this theory going around the medical community of clinical endocannabinoid deficiency syndrome. And this was first postulated by Dr. Ethan Russo, and he found the characteristic among these patients was that they were all very low in their internal endogenous cannabinoid levels. Once he started getting his patients to a normal cannabinoid intake, that these patients came to a much higher level of health and wellness.
We believe the best product that you can get is a real true full spectrum product like the ones we sell, sourced from a trusted grower that's been growing it for decades.
So our two-step process allows us to take many of the entourage botanicals and then we reconstitute, just put A and B together to capture as much of the goodness from the cannabis plant as we've currently been able to utilize. We really at this time are about the only company that has these blue, green, and gold products, which are more direct from the cannabis hemp plant itself. Green is the raw juice, the raw extract from the hemp plant itself. CBD in an acid form. Blue is a raw extract from the cannabis plant that's been decarboxylated, lightly heated, loses some of the plant material, concentrates the CBD to 17%. The gold basically takes our blue product that's been decarboxylated, and then we do an additional step. Removes a little bit more of the plant material, concentrates the CBD to 24%, and produces a nice golden honey color.
These plants will actually be cut down in about a week, and then they'll be dried and then taken to the extraction facility. And they're going to be tested right there as soon as the extraction is done. Then they're going to be sent to the U.S., and it's going to be tested again for content. And when the final products are done, it'll be tested one more time. It's what we call triple lab testing. In the cannabis industry, you can find all kinds of products, and who knows what you're actually taking, right? So we want to make sure when we're delivering a product to you, exactly what's on the label is what's delivered to your doorstep so you can take the product with confidence and then experience the great benefits. Medical Marijuana Inc. really is a company of firsts, and it's Kannaway's parent company. In 2009, it was the first ever publicly held cannabis company in the United States. In 2012, we were the first company in the history of the world to launch a CBD product. And in 2014, a major first for the company, the first ever cannabis-based direct selling company was introduced to the world, Kannaway. In 2017, the company had a breakthrough. We were the first company to ever present to the World Health Organization on the safety and efficacy of CBD-based products. Just this year, we had another amazing first. We were the first company to ever have a cannabis-based supplement, our CBD products, in the PDR, the Physician's Desk Reference. For the first time, we cracked the DSN Top 100. It means Kannaway is one of the world's largest 100 direct selling companies. We've still got a long ways to go, but we've been recognized over and over from 2018 to 2019 because of our growth, and I expect that to continue into 2020 and beyond.
So I'd love for y'all to put in the chat what you found most interesting about our timeline, how we're a company of first. I tell you, so many things just really impressed me with that video. The fact that we were the very first hemp company or first company to bring hemp products to the United States is just so exciting, because now you see it everywhere, and to know that we led the way. And this is just so rewarding. One of the things that also a lot of people are impressed is, we were the first company to be able to be traded. In 2009, you could buy our stock. We were the very first company to import in 2012 from Northern Europe. And where that's very important is, our crops have been, our farmers have been doing this for generations. They're generational farms. Some of them are up to 100 years old. The farms are, not the farmers. And that's really important because, hemp is what's called a bioaccumulator, meaning that whatever's in the soil is going to be taken up into the plant. And if your, loved one has, a debilitating disease, you want to make sure that there's nothing else in there. There's no pesticides, there's no herbicides. Some of these farms, their last crop might have been tobacco and they sprayed Roundup on it. You certainly don't want to put that in your body. So that's another reason that we're very proud of the fact that our soil has never had anything on it for over 100 years other than hemp in some of these farms in Holland and in Northern Europe. And also the fact that we're triple lab tested is a big deal. And that's independent labs. That's not just our company testing it. And then, so what they do is they test it at the farm to make sure there's no pesticides, herbicides, mold, or anything in it. And then when it goes to the manufacturing facility here in the United States, our headquarters is in San Diego. We now manufacture in Utah, and they test it there. And then they test it after it's put into products to make sure that again, what is supposed to be in the bottle is in the bottle and on the label and nothing else. And something that's will guarantee that is if you look at the back of the bottle here, there's an H, that's the US Hemp Authority seal. 99% of the products tested fail, meaning that they have other additives in there other than what's supposed to be in there, or they don't have the amount of CBD that it says it's supposed to be in there. So this Pure Gold is the one they mentioned that is recommended by doctors and the physician's PDR. And if it says 2,000 milligrams of CBD on it, then it's guaranteed to have at least 2,000 milligrams of CBD. Let's see. And the question, what were they looking for? The mold, pesticides, the contents of what, if it says 300 milligrams of CBN or CBG or whatever, that it has in there exactly what they're looking for. One of our friends, she actually invested in a hemp crop in, I believe it was in Hawaii. And whenever they went to harvest, it had mold in it and the whole thing was destroyed. And she also told us that another friend, and this is like $500,000 they've invested, another friend had a crop, I believe in Colorado, and whenever it was tested, it had too much THC in it. That crop was also destroyed. So, people can get into the hemp industry in a lot of different ways. You can become a grower, have a dispensary, or you can do like we do, sell a great quality product that's guaranteed by the US Hemp Authority seal. And then also there's a QR code on the back of this. You can scan this QR code and get the lab analysis and know exactly where this product is grown and exactly what's in the bottle. So that's, I tell people all the time, we are never going to be the cheapest product out there. We don't want to compete with what you can buy at a vape shop. We are the premier cannabis company for a reason, and I stand behind it 110%. So let me look and see what other questions we have. Yes, we have definitely, we started research and development in 2003. Medical Marijuana Inc., our parent company, we are the marketing arm of Medical Marijuana Inc., and they started out with medical marijuana and then shifted the research into cannabinoids from the hemp plant for several reasons. But number one is this is so much easier to convey to people because there's still a stigma on marijuana, even for medicinal uses. So, and they knew that we would be able to open the entire United States with hemp and CBD way faster than the medical community and people by and large would be accepting of marijuana or medical marijuana as a nation. So anyway, so we led the way for CBD and hemp, and I'm sure down the road there will be more states that are open to medical marijuana, because there is definitely a benefit for medical marijuana with higher amount of THC as well. When people have life-threatening conditions, sometimes you need more THC. we mentioned before that, or they mentioned before, that gold, blue, and green applicators. And this is the green premium applicator. And it looks like a shot. It's actually a paste. You take the end off and you turn this and it'll come out on the end. It tastes kind of like the plant. So it does come with capsules that are vegan capsules that you can put the paste in and take it that way. I just put it right under my tongue. This is 50 milligrams a serving. Very earthy, but it definitely helps. Well, this has up to 0.3% THC in it, which is what's legally allowed. So this is a premium product. The next category, the premium full spectrum, that means it's got basically the whole plant. There's up to 140 known cannabinoids. So you've got the terpenes, flavonoids, chlorophyll, all in that type product. Only disadvantage of that product is if you are an athlete or drug tested or don't like the taste of good earthy things, you will want to steer clear of the premium full spectrum and go to our broad spectrum, which would be our pure gold. And that is broad spectrum, meaning we've got everything where we take the plant, pull the THC out, and it's in a MCT oil in this form. And then we also have it in gel caps, the same quality, the same, recommended by doctors, but it's in the gel cap form. This is 25 milligrams a serving, and the oil is 50 milligrams per serving. And that's about 3/4 of a teaspoon. So, and then the third category is our pure CBD, and we have it in several different sizes as well. Capsules, we have the tinctures. The pure CBD is just as it says, just CBD. Now, all three have wonderful benefits with the nervous system and immune system. Probably most notable would be pain and inflammation, removing the two of those, also helping with sleep, also helping with blue moods, helping with the anxiety over what's happening in this world. So all three product lines will help with that. But I will tell you that things with THC in them are going to help you relax more, help with pain more, help with sleep more. So if you can do the full spectrum, I recommend that. If not, then you move to the broad spectrum pure gold. And if you choose, then you can do just the pure. So, and I'm happy to suggest a product based on your health and wellness goals and budget. And so let me look and see if there's any other questions. Okay, so I'm going to go on to our third video. This is our cannabis opportunity, and our goal is to have hemp in every home around the world.
You can look at everything around you right now. Okay, look at your watch, look at your computer, look at your TV. Are all those things going to be bigger in 10 years than they are today? I don't know the answer to that. But with respect to cannabis, you could ask anybody that's living on the planet today whether the cannabis industry is going to be bigger 10 years from now than it is today, and it's a universal yes. So how do you profit? I guess you could start a dispensary if you live somewhere where that's legal, and if you want to invest a bunch of capital and get all the right licenses. I guess you could open a CBD hemp store and you want to hire a bunch of employees and get all the infrastructure in. Or Kannaway could be the perfect opportunity for every single person to get involved in the cannabis movement.
One of the greatest shifts in public thought in the last 70 years, and I can participate for the simple price of a BA fee and acquiring a few products to get started. Wow.
You don't have to be a scientist. You don't have to be a farmer. You don't have to be an accountant. You don't have to be a salesperson. Everything's done for you.
Ich denke, Hanke und ich, wir haben unser ganzes Leben auf eine Möglichkeit wie diese gewartet. Wenn sich sein Leben durch unsere Produkte verändert, wenn sich sein Leben durch unsere Geschäftsmöglichkeit verändert, dann darf auch etwas Retour kommen, dann können wir auch ernten.
We are making a difference in the world. We're changing laws. Who wouldn't want to be a part of that? And to share and educate and empower others? Oh my goodness. And to be rewarded abundantly, financially, and with your health, all wins.
You know, the Kannaway journey has been almost the stuff of dreams. I mean, you talk about where we started back in 2014, 2015, starting to get the message out there, you know, only a little bit of growth. March 2016, we get a new CEO, Blake Schrader comes on. Now we're talking about an 80 times growth in revenue. And this is because of the global cannabis boom that's taking place all over the world. We're in over 30 countries in Europe. We've just announced Japan. We're also going to Russia. Kannaway is going all over the world, and it's going to make a difference to the people in each of those countries.
It is not easy to craft a plan that would meet the needs of one with a multi-million-dollar annual income objective and also meet the needs of somebody who is struggling so hard in life and wants extra $500 a month. This compensation plan does a better job than anything I have witnessed in my 30 years in the industry of properly and adequately distributing the income among various participants at various stages of development.
So what we do is we share not only, the income potential that they have, but also the other things like the trips and the little incentive recognitions, and people will work harder for that than they will for $1.
We've been to Hawaii, we've been to Costa Rica. Where will we go next? We want you there with us. This is all there to say thank you for all the things that you do, and so you can have that with Kannaway, have a lot of fun and make some great memories along the way.
I remember I walked through the doors of the company my first day that I joined Kannaway, and I met Stuart and his partner. And then I watched Stuart for a little while, and he would always have these groups of people coming into the office, helping him and giving away massive amounts of products. And I thought, you know what, he's making a big change in these people's lives, but it needs to be bigger than just Stuart, because it can't be everywhere at one time. And so we decided to create a nonprofit organization called ECHO.
Echo Connection is an international charity, and we envision a world where cannabinoids are universally available and accepted by all. And we have seen profound changes in the health and well-being of families.
I just was like sitting there watching her like, oh my God, I think can't believe it's actually working this quick. My wife came home and she just walked up and started crying and said, I got my baby back.
We always say that we would do anything for our children or for our families, and these people truly have moved mountains for their babies and for the rest of their families. And it's truly thousands of us all over the world giving just a small amount each month that keeps the Echo families going. It's a part of our culture, and it's a part of our legacy as a company.
This plant really changed my life, changed the life of my family, and of course, changed the life of my little girl.
I believe the time will come when literally span the globe, east to west and north and south, the end of the prohibition of cannabis is a process that has begun. It's a process that will not be stopped. And if one earns market share today in the evolving process, there is simply no limitation to the financial outcomes.
We find ourselves in the midst of a cannabis boom. Kannaway is leading the way in terms of education, in terms of giving back through ECHO, and in terms of making a difference in the world. I invite you, whether it's to become a customer of our company or a brand ambassador, get involved and make a difference.
I don't know about y'all, but every time I watch the story of those children with ECHO, the ECHO families, it just gives me goosebumps. And every month, whenever I place my orders and my family's orders, we have the opportunity to give. And some people give a little bit, $5, $10, and other people give a lot. But what all that money goes towards is helping those families that depend on CBD and cannabinoids for those family members to live, that they can't afford it. And so we as brand ambassadors or entrepreneurs love sharing and being able to help. And also that's the same. Echo Connection is the same organization I mentioned earlier, the website that has over 25,000 research articles on how cannabinoids can help people. And that's also where someone could apply for assistance if they want to use the products, but they just can't financially afford it. There's a place there to apply for assistance. And they will get back with you on that. I love the fact that, we were the ones that started the movement. We're now in 45 countries. We just this past year opened Japan and Mexico, and we're now in Puerto Rico. And so, really the sky's the limit, and that we do have the global mission of providing hemp for every home. So if those of you who are interested in learning more about the products, I'm going to go ahead and share the products briefly. And then anyone who wants to stay on, we will then go over the 10 steps to getting started. If you'd like to do like me and become an entrepreneur and make a difference in the world, It could be as little as you just want to get your products paid for. We can help you do that. And then we also have, family members, team members, they're, making an extra, $500 to, my personal mentor. She's what's called a Crown Ambassador Elite, and they make $1 million a year. So you let me know what you're interested in, and I will be happy to help guide you in that area. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. We're going to look at the best way to get started. And this is what's called our value packs. And I put this together on one sheet so that you can see the features and benefits of each one. Most customers would get started with what's called the starter value pack. And that one, if you're an entrepreneur, we suggest you get one of the larger share or professional value packs. But as a customer or a small family, the starter value pack is a great deal. Now, as a customer, it would be $275. You're saving about $285 off buying the products individually. And in that pack, we have 2 of the Pure Gold 1 ounce. And then you get 1 of the CBN. The CBN is called cannabinol. Cannabinol is the most sedative of all of the cannabinoids that are in the hemp or marijuana plant. We also have CBG. CBG is the most mood elevating of all the cannabinoids. We also have a jar of the salve, and we also have a 10-pack of the sample salves. So the starter value pack is a great value. Now, if you are want to become an entrepreneur, it is just $54.98. And then you buy any of the other value packs. We have the share value pack. You see there has 2 of the salve, 2 of the sample packs, the Pure Gold gel caps we mentioned earlier, 2 of the green oral applicators, where the starter value pack just has 1. And then you have a variety of the same Pure CBD, Pure Gold CBD, CBG, and CBN. And that one is $4.99. You're saving over $655. The next is probably the most popular for new entrepreneurs. That is the professional value pack. That is $9.99. And you're saving over $865 in value. And then the top there is the premium value pack. And that is for the serious business builder. And that has the best value for the entrepreneur. And again, that one's $2,499. So I'm going to stop my screen share here and see if any of the people that are on live, if any of you have any questions or comments on about ways to get started. And if so, just put it in the chat. And if you're interested solely in the products, I am happy to get back with you. So just give me a wave or put it in the chat, and I will call you later today.